So you're blind, you'll be fine, we got good news. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth. You and me and a bee, let's dream together. And a bee, you and me, lives on forever. You will see, yeah. You live the life you want, nobody can stop you. Shoot for the sun and break on through. So you're blind, you'll be fine, we got good news. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth. You can live the life you want, yes, we know the truth.
Good evening, my Federation family. It is so good to be with everybody for our November presidential release. We are so excited that you're with us tonight virtually and also live from the great state of California. Is now so great. Sorry we are not there in person, but President Riccobono is live in person in California. So it is my pleasure to turn it over to you, President Riccobono. Everybody sounds great, and happy convention.
Happy convention. How you doing, Pam?
Doing great. Did
you hear that? Did you hear that? You got an I love you.
Oh, I was sending that. Love you too. Sending that right back.
Well, we wish you were here with us, but you have to go to
awesome.
Michigan, right?
That's right.
So
yes, Mullen and I are heading out bright and early in the morning, so we'll be very happy to be with our family in Michigan.
There's a lot of conventions going on. I know I got a text from Marcy Carpenter.
Yeah, that's right. Washington's listening.
Over at the Washington convention. A lot of conventions this weekend. But we did have Halloween. Did you dress up, Pam?
I was very creative. Guess what I dressed as?
A center director.
Exactly. How did you guess? How did you guess? But I heard that there were some other costumes. I'm not sure if you heard about this. A blind referee costume.
Oh yeah. We don't. Yeah. Not only that, we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Jerry Jones either. But we have written a letter to the company that sells the blind referee costume.
Outstanding.
Hopefully next year there will be no blind referee costume.
That's right. Good work. Good public education.
Otherwise, maybe we'll get all blind people to dress up as Jerry Jones. Anyway,
did you have a costume for Halloween?
Well, I have a couple of costumes that I cycle through. So I pulled out my Cousin It costume.
Oh, that's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, it makes it hard to eat candy through all the hair.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. Well, shall we get started?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, thank you. Greetings, fellow Federationists. Today is Thursday, November 3rd, 2022, and this is Presidential Release number 521, live from San Diego, California. Live from the convention of the National Federation of the Blind of California. And this month, November 16th, we will be celebrating our 82nd year as the organized blind movement. And of course, California has long been a leader of our organization, going back to our founding and our founding president, Dr. Jacobus Tenbrook. So it is great to be here with the Federation family in California for this important anniversary month. Speaking of leadership and celebrating, some of us think of this time of year as the season of giving. And it is a great time to think about how we can contribute to others who are in need. But we should not forget that our mission in the National Federation of the Blind also continues to need support. And thanks to the generous challenge grant from Vespero, every dollar contributed between now and the end of the year can be doubled up to $50,000. So it's really important that each of us urge our friends and family to help promote the work of the Federation by contributing to this mission. Of course, you can contribute too, but I would encourage us to share the opportunity with our friends and family and to let them know that contributions will be doubled. It's really easy to make a contribution to the Federation. Just as a reminder, you can visit our online donation page, nfb.org/donate. People can call our main office, 410-659-9314, and dial extension 2430. Or, of course, people can send a check to our national office at 200 East Wells Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230. Please help promote the opportunity. And thank you again to Vespero for supporting the work of the National Federation of the Blind. Now, November 8th is quickly approaching, and that is the general election. And this is an important time for us to get out as blind people and vote. Or, well, for that matter, you can stay in and vote. But the important thing is to vote. We need blind people to be part of the process. You can make your voice heard by casting a vote, but you can do better than that. But the first step is to cast your vote. And there are many ways in most jurisdictions to cast a vote. But when you cast your vote, we want you to tell us about your experience, because that data will help us. I want to remind all members of the Federation that Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act requires that blind and low vision voters must be provided an opportunity to vote privately and independently. That is equivalent to the opportunities provided to non-disabled voters. We have been working tirelessly to protect the rights of blind voters and to expand those opportunities where it has been limited. After participating in the 2022 general elections, we need all blind voters to fill out our blind voters survey. This helps us gather data to hold the government and others accountable for the experience of blind people. So whether you have a great experience voting or a horrible experience voting, we need you to fill out our survey. Also, I would remind you that, of course, there are barriers to voting, but you should not let those barriers stop you from casting your vote. You should cast your vote, and then you should tell us what the problems were. That data can help us. Now, there are two different versions of the survey. One is for voters who voted in person at a polling place, either early voting or on election day. And the other survey is for those who voted absentee, by mail, whatever that system is in your jurisdiction. These surveys are available. You can get to them on our website, nfb.org/vote. Also, want to note that the surveys are available in Spanish. And if you need assistance filling out the online survey, we have a staff standing by to help you do that. And you can fill out the survey as soon as you've voted. Both Luann Blake and Jeff Kalock at our national office are available to help you if you have trouble with the online survey. Luann is available at extension 2221, and Jeff is at extension 2206. Now, if you are going to vote in person, you might need some assistance with getting there. And thanks to our partnership with Lyft. Lyft is offering Federation members a special code to offset the cost of transportation to get to the polls to vote during this election time. The code you can use is NFB Vote 2022. So all one word, NFB Vote 2022. You can put that into the Lyft app and you can get credit to support your transportation costs. There also is a link which we'll have on our website if you want to use the link to get that verification code. The code is valid for $30 in transportation costs with Lyft to get to the polls. It's a great partnership. We appreciate that Lyft continues to support getting blind people out to polling places. The code is valid from now through election day, and it is only offered to a limited number of members. It's a healthy number, but it is a limited number. So please use the code because it helps us show that Lyft is making a difference in helping blind people get out to vote. Now, for many of you that may raise the question of, well, but what about both Uber and Lyft? How are they doing on responding to our resolutions about the treatment of individuals who use guide dogs? Well, I can talk to you about that. Now, for Uber, we have had a number of meetings with representatives from Uber over the past 3 months. And of course, the treatment that blind people have received from the rideshare services is not a new issue. We've worked on it in many different dimensions. Uber has made improved efforts at driver education during the last little while. And they have specifically been training drivers on the requirements for carrying passengers who use service animals. Specifically, if a rider reports a denial, there will be a thorough investigation and drivers will be suspended during that investigation. If Uber determines that the denial was a result of a guide dog, then the driver will be permanently removed from the platform. Now, we should believe it when it happens. That means we're asking all Federation members with service animals to try it out. We need you to try it out, test it, see if it's working. And during this month of November, I know it's frustrating. There's been denials. It makes you not want to use the services anymore. But if we don't test it and give them the data, we can't hold them accountable. So we need members to test the Uber platform during this month to see if there have in fact been changes and improvements in the driver education. If you experience a denial with Uber, it is critical to report it to Uber immediately. After reporting it to Uber, please also share that report with the National Federation of the Blind through the form that can be found at nfb.org/legal. It's great to report it to Uber, but if we get that data through our form, we can use that in our negotiations with Uber as well to hold them accountable. Now that's Uber. Now Lyft, we're still working on. We have had fewer meetings with Lyft, and so we are still in negotiation. We would say that it's a little bit behind the curve of where we are with Uber, but we are hopeful that we will have a similar update regarding Lyft in the near future. Look, we know that this is very frustrating. I've experienced the denials myself traveling with people. I know it is been a headache for lots of blind people. We're working hard to implement the resolutions and to hold these companies accountable, but we need the data to do it. Now, if you have questions about this or want more information, you can reach out to Al Elia, who has been working on this on behalf of the National Association of Guide Dog Users. His email address is aelia@nagdu.org, or you can also call him at 346-439-7444, or you can reach out to Justin Young at our national office, jyoung@nfb.org, or at our main number, extension 2210. Now let's talk a little bit about Braille. It is now the time of year that we talk about our partnership with the American Action Fund for Blind Children and Adults to promote the Braille Readers Are Leaders contest. Yeah, you can applaud for that. The Braille Readers Are Leaders contest is a great way for Braille readers to track the number of minutes they spend on reading between December 5, 2022 and January 23rd, 2023. And in that process, you can win prizes just for working on Braille reading. Now, there are contests for Braille readers who are in grades K to 12, and there are also contests for adults who are beginner, intermediate, or advanced Braille readers. So we have 3 adult contests this year in the Braille Readers Are Leaders contest. Registration will be open later this month, and I encourage all Federation members to consider registering, to use this as an opportunity to promote Braille and enhance Braille reading amongst our chapters, especially with new Braille readers. For more information on the registration process, you can visit actionfund.beanstack.org. Beanstack is the platform we're using, so actionfund.beanstack.org to get more information. Also, this is the time of year when we talk about a very important partnership we have with Santa Claus to provide Braille letters from Santa to blind children. Santa's very busy this time of year, and so he has asked us if we can help provide Braille letters for Santa. And in the last couple years, we have expanded this also to provide winter letters, winter celebration letters to those who might not recognize Santa Claus or the Christmas holiday. So we want to offer this to families who have blind children up to age 10. You can visit the NFB website and you can sign up to get a Braille letter from Santa or a winter celebration letter, and these are available in both English and Spanish. The letters all come with some cool activities for the children as well. And to make it accessible to the non-Braille readers, we include a printed copy because we believe in equal access, right? NFB.org is the place to find the letters you want to get your orders in so that they arrive in time for the end of December. Now, we talked about on the last presidential release, and we've been working hard on the website and Software Applications Accessibility Act. And I want to thank Federation members for your swift outreach to members of Congress. Literally hundreds of calls, emails have been made to support this important piece of legislation. Please continue to keep the pressure on. Although we are going into an election and the end of the congressional cycle, your pressure is really, really, really making a difference. Absolutely. The Honorable Tony Coelho has said of this bill that this bill is as significant as the introduction of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And coming from Tony, who is truly the father of the Americans with Disabilities Act, this is a significant endorsement. The NFB has been coordinating outreach efforts with other organizations of the blind and for the blind. We've also been doing outreach to some of the major tech companies in this regard, but your direct outreach to Congress is really important. Recently, we presented with other organizations a discussion of the bill at the M-Enabling Conference, a summit that happens every year in Washington, D.C. This is a major technology conference, so that this bill was highlighted is really significant. If you do your part and we continue to keep the pressure on, we can get this bill to move. And more importantly, we will lay an important groundwork for our legislative agenda in 2023. Now, I mentioned the M-Enabling Summit because our presentation there started with a video where our own John Perret introduced the representative who introduced the bill in the House of Representatives. This is Representative John Sarbanes of Maryland, who is the local representative for the headquarters of the National Federation of the Blind. I thought I would share with you on this release the video of Congressman Sarbanes introducing the bill to the M-Enabling Conference.
Hi, everyone. I'm Congressman Sarbanes. I'm proud to have introduced the Websites and Software Applications Accessibility Act with my colleague, Senator Tammy Duckworth. This important legislation will make websites and mobile applications accessible for everyone. Today, the internet, as we know, is the center of nearly every aspect of our society. But digital innovation is only as powerful as it is inclusive. As technology has evolved, digital accessibility hasn't kept pace, and far too many Americans cannot take full and equal advantage of new tools. That's why we need uniform, consistent standards that lay out what true digital accessibility is and provide adequate mechanisms to enforce it. The Department of Justice has stated unequivocally that the Americans with Disabilities Act applies to websites and other technologies which act as a gateway to businesses, agencies, or their services. But the department has never produced the enforceable standards necessary to help businesses understand and uphold their responsibilities and truly make websites and software fully accessible to everyone. The Websites and Software Applications Accessibility Act would change that. It would require the department to create long overdue accessibility standards for websites and applications that clarify that commercial providers who often design the websites and applications that we use are held to these standards, just like the businesses and agencies hiring them. It would also promote collaboration and technical assistance in ways that can develop these standards, with a technical assistance center and an advisory committee. The clear accessibility standards created under the Websites and Software Applications Accessibility Act will help disability advocates and businesses alike as we all work together to reduce barriers to web accessibility. I'm proud to have introduced this legislation with Senator Duckworth, and I'm eager to work with all of you in securing its passage. Thank you for all you do, helping us build a more just society, one that ensures equity and inclusion for every American.
Really great statement by Congressman Sarbanes, and really speaks to the work that we've done in the National Federation of the Blind. You'll remember that Senator Duckworth spoke at our 2021 virtual convention. So we've been working on this bill for a long time, and it's going to be some more work to get it done, but we will get it done. Now, it's great to be here in California because we do a lot of interesting advocacy work in California. And I should say over here to my left off camera is the president of the NFB of California, Tim Elder, who also has the distinction of one of the powerful civil rights attorneys that we use. And recently, we were pleased to resolve some work that we have done with Amazon, specifically collaboratively resolving issues of back pay claims for 5 blind Amazon employees who were discriminated against. And Amazon representatives have worked closely with us to resolve this conflict, which we appreciate our California affiliate helping to provide leadership on. We are continuing to work on this. Representatives of Amazon recently toured our Colorado Center for the Blind to learn more about how blind people use alternative techniques to undertake tasks. We're really pleased that Amazon remains committed to working to identify accessibility solutions and innovations for blind employees. However, just like with Uber, our advocacy work is not done. If you have had workplace accommodations denied or been placed on unpaid leave or have experienced other issues in the employment process as applying for work at an Amazon fulfillment center, we need to continue to hear from you. Again, we've established a good relationship, but that doesn't mean we won't continue to hold Amazon accountable. So if you've encountered these issues, are encountering these issues, please reach out to Valerie Yingling at our national office. You can reach her at legal@nfb.org, and we can work with you on those issues. If you learn of individuals experiencing that, let them know that the National Federation of the Blind is here for them. I do have a number of Federation family notes for this release, and the first comes from Minnesota, where I regret to inform you of the passing of Susan Leaker on October 16th. Susan is the twin sister of Judy Sanders, who you may remember won our Jacobus Tenbrook Award at this year's convention. I urge you to keep Judy and her family and friends of Susan in your thoughts and prayers. From Georgia, we've learned of the passing of Everett Davis on October 9th of this year. Everett moved to Georgia from Chicago, Illinois, and was a long-standing member of the NFB chapter on the south side of Atlanta. Please keep Everett in your thoughts and prayers. And from Nebraska, Linda Mentink reports the passing of John Wardman on Sunday, October 9th, 2022. He was a member of the Columbus area chapter since September of 2017. John was 84 years old. His wife, Brenda, continues to provide service to the Federation as secretary of the chapter. I encourage you to keep all of these Federationists and those I may not know about in your thoughts and prayers. Pam, I think that's what I have for the moment on this release. I'm going to flip it back to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, President Riccobono. And I want to give our updates for our poll. We had great participation, so thank you everybody who took part. In response to our question on voting, our top vote getter with 49% was I will or have voted in person with an accessible machine. And following closely behind that for our second place was I will vote in person or have voted in person with an assistant. So you know how important it is to get out there and vote. So thank you everybody for making sure that our voices are heard. And our question about our favorite cake. This was a hard question for some people. There was a chunk of people who said all of the above. So that I can understand why. But our top vote getter, not surprisingly, chocolate cake.
Oh,
followed.
Come on, carrot cake.
Well, it was second. It was
Okay,
second.
okay,
It
good.
was second. So, but it was a hard question for some. So, so many good choices. So, just a quick reminder to everybody, and I want to thank everybody so much in advance who had submitted questions tonight. And we appreciate all of your ideas and your questions and your comments. If you have questions, you can submit them through our Q&A app, or you can email them to cdanielson@nfb.org. And we will do our best to get to all of them. If we don't have a chance, our awesome communications team will be following up. So first of all, President Riccobono, before we get to our questions, I understand that we have a birthday in the room there with you.
That is true. That is true. Where's Allison? There, Allison Deppner. It's her birthday today. She's been working hard behind the scenes. So happy birthday, Allison. Do you want us to sing to you or? Go ahead, Everett. Kick it off. I didn't ask if we should do it LCB style.
Yeah, that version was much more melodious, I will say. Happy birthday, Austin. That's awesome. Great to be celebrating with your Federation family, and thank you for all your hard work. So President
We won't tell her who put us up to it. So.
No, never.
Was a member of the chapter, but we won't mention who.
We won't say that. That's right. So I know we talked about the Braille Readers Are Leaders contest. I know you mentioned that in your remarks. So I just wanted to say we had several comments appreciating the Braille Readers Are Leaders contest, and everyone's really excited about that, from kids to adults. So question about suggestions you might have for people who are working on reading Braille and building their speed.
Well, a couple things, and I think this has come up previously on a release, but the important thing in building up speed is reading. You just need to read. And as someone who learned Braille when I turned 21, the summer I turned 21, I have watched myself go through the process of learning Braille, and reading really is the way to do it. So what I would say is, if you can get in a group with some other people, reading short things so that you can have a sense of accomplishment. If you're going to start with War and Peace, probably hard to feel like you're making progress, but kernel book articles, monitor articles, stories about blind people, even poems, right? Although those are a little trickier because poems have a little different structure to them, but things that when you read them, you're going to feel like you've made some progress are important, but also then thinking about reading things that have, to some extent, repeat words in it, so you can build that knowledge. But the key is reading. If you can find somebody to read with, that's always a great motivator.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. And a couple questions we have. Everybody's really excited. It's time of year, we've been outreaching to our members of Congress. So we had questions with updates that you could share about the Access Technology Affordability Act and also our legislation related to access for medical devices, if there are any updates you have.
Well, the Access Technology Affordability Act, we continue to have 116 members of the House of Representatives supporting the bill and 40 senators. It's a great foundation. We are still hopeful that that bill will get attached to something before the end of this year. So a really great opportunity to keep the pressure on. We do have a very strong commitment from our bill sponsors that they're watching for an opportunity to add this to legislation that is going to go through before the end of the year. On medical devices, it's a slower climb. I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head, but we have gotten some good support, and certainly we're going to need to continue to push on that. Obviously, there is support for the idea when we talk to people. It is a little bit of a harder lift in that we haven't been running this bill as long, so continue to keep the pressure on. No substantive updates regarding Medical Device Act, though.
Okay, great. And along the lines of legislation, we had a question about when can we make reservations for Washington seminar, and if is that available yet, and if not, when and how?
A great question.
Really
I would say, why haven't you made your reservation yet? Yes, it's open, it's available. The Washington seminar, of course, will be kicking off with the Great Gathering In meeting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, January 30th, and going through Thursday of that week, February 2nd. We will be meeting at the Holiday Inn Capitol at 550 C Street Southwest, as is long-standing tradition. You can make your reservations. Yes, you can make them now. Some people already have. To get a room with a king bed is $109. To get 2 queens is $129 per night, plus the DC 14.5% tax on top of that. You can find all of this information at nfb.org/Washington-seminar. Washington-seminar is where you find all of this, and that will include the reference code that you should use when booking your room at the Holiday Inn. I think there's a link there also. So yes, please make your reservations. We are planning to have an in-person Washington seminar. We're continuing to monitor what the rules and regulations are in DC and in Congress. We are anticipating that for our meetings, our big meetings at the Holiday Inn, we will be requiring masking in the Great Gathering Inn and the training, because it's really hard to do social distancing. But from there, we probably will be inviting Federation members to take the appropriate steps they feel are necessary to keep themselves safe. At this point in time, we do not anticipate requiring testing as part of the Washington seminar, but of course, we would encourage people to test before traveling, always the wise thing to do.
Okay, excellent. It will be here before we know it. So
it really will be
excited about that. We have a question concerning our letters to Santa, our winter letters. Are there any age restrictions, or what is the age category?
Yeah, I know we have some people that like to try to get a letter, even though they're 46 years old or something like me. But yes, it's really intended for kids 10 and under. So please keep that in mind. And so 10 years of age or younger.
Okay. And another question related to the conference that was just hosted in Baltimore that you were discussing. And the collaboration with the National Federation of the Blind, with corporations and conferences representing technology and technology vendors. How can we continue to collaborate with large corporations and make sure that they hear our voices and they're aware of our newest legislation?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, I don't think of anything specific related to the bill that we want our members to do. We are working closely with especially the major tech companies to get them to understand the bill and hopefully support the bill. That is still an ongoing process because working with members of Congress leading the effort, we weren't able to bring those companies in while the bill was being drafted. So we're doing a lot of educational work right now with those companies to get them on board. So what I would say is stay tuned. If we find that there's a need to put pressure on any of the major tech companies, then we will certainly urge people to do that. What I would say, though, is if you have connections with other tech companies, you have contacts, people in the C-suite, send them the fact sheet and offer to talk to them about the bill and try to get them on board. There are a number of companies out there that are doing great work. I had to provide a COVID test to come here to the NFB of California convention, and I used my reader device from Q Health, which is a company right here in San Diego. Took this test independently, was able to get my results independently and email them off to the email address independently. Let's get companies like that on board with this bill, right? That are already building products with accessibility in mind. So if you have those contacts, yeah, get them on board. Hopefully during the holidays, people are going to get tired of you talking about the website and software applications accessibility act.
Excellent. Well, again, I want to thank everyone for submitting questions, and we really appreciate this great discussion. If we did not have a chance to get to your question tonight, we'll definitely, our esteemed communication team will be following up with you. And we are definitely sending all our love to all the conventions happening. I know President Riccoboni will have a full weekend ahead in California. So I want to thank everyone for being with us tonight. And remember to join our next presidential release that will be live from Baltimore on Thursday, December 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern via Zoom, the Nation's Blind YouTube channel, our intranet stream, or by asking your Amazon device to open Nations Blind. You can contact President Riccobono at 410-659-9314 or via email at officeofthepresident@nfb.org. Thank you. And I will turn it back to you, President Riccobono.
Thank you very much, Pam. And I'll look forward to having you live in person at the release in December. So that'll be great, as well as our board of directors and some supporters of ours. That would be really great. So we're looking forward to that. We have to decide if we're going to, do any special decorations again this year.
That's right. Yeah, we'll be planning our creative. We got to get creative again. So we're excited. Will and I will be looking forward to seeing you soon.
All right, sounds great, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, same to you and Melissa and the kids.
Thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure to bring this presidential message from the NFB of California. Thank you, California, for hosting. As we come to the close of this presidential release, I do think about the time of Thanksgiving and being grateful for so many things, but most importantly, the true support community that we have in the National Federation of the Blind. I wish that others had access to the kind of network and community that we have in this organization. I think it is sometimes too easy to overlook what a true gift it is that not just that we do the work together, but that we have the support of each other, not just in the good times that we get to celebrate, but in the hard times. And I know when I'm out traveling and I get into situations which are frustrating to me, I'm grateful that I can go to my Federation community and get recharged, and remember that blindness is not the characteristic that defines me. It's the low expectations that we have to overcome by working together. And so I'm really grateful to each and every one of you for the work, the commitment, and the heart that you put into our movement. And so as I come to the close of this release, that's what I'm thinking about, especially as we have had a truly special and motivating year in our organization. I'm sure we'll talk more about that on next month's release. To close this release, we have some customary endings from some of our friends here in the great state of California. So I'll leave you with "Let's Go Build the National Federation of the Blind."
Hi, my name is Connor. I got a joke for you. What kind of dog does a magician have? A labracadabra.
Hi, I'm Ali's sister, and do you want to know a funny joke? What do you call a witch that only eats sand? A sandwich.
Hi, my name is Kylie, and I'm going to tell you a joke. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana!
The preceding message was brought to you by Mark Riccobono, President, National Federation of the Blind. Office of the President at nfb.org, 410-659-9314, www.nfb.org. Let's go build the National Federation of the Blind.
All right, Tim, we're even giving you time back.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny, I'm still here. Yes. Great. Thank you so much, Danny.
Yeah, we'll be back here for the board meeting at 5 o'clock.